Here we are, Igor. It's Halloween and time for the Halloween bash. It's party time. It's a Halloween party, and I want your body. Please join us today as we create numerous Halloween crafts. We're going to have so much fun. Here we are at Fruit of the Vine. I hope we're going to enjoy ourselves today. We are going to have a Halloween bash. So, let's talk about this that we're looking at right here. What is this? You may be wondering. This is our leaf lantern. And if you would like instructions on how to make one for yourself, just comment below during the course of this hour. Just put I do, or me too, and I will send you a private PM, and you will be able to receive instructions on how to make one for yourself. All right, are we ready? It's time to get started. Don't even worry about it. We don't care. Ha ha ha. Here we are. It's Halloween. And it's Fruit of the Vine's Halloween bash. And I'm so glad you're here with me. And even if you aren't here at this moment, you'll be here soon enough. And we're going to put a spell on you today and make numerous crafts and have so much fun. Ha 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 ha. Igor!
Yes.
Igor!
Yes,
Are you here?
I am trying to get online, but I'm having problems too.
You do not need to be online. You do not see it? Is that what you're telling us? There is no live? There is no live? Go out and go back. Go out and go back and start it all over again then. And we will see. We're going to get our crystal ball out. And we're going to look into the future and see exactly what craft we're going to make next. We are going to prepare for our crafts today by doing numerous things beforehand. And we do need to get started. So, without further delay, it's time to start. And I'm taking this off. Here we are. It's Janet with Fruit of the Vine Art Studio here, folks. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to have some fun, and we're going to make some crafts. Flip on that light over there for me if you don't mind. Here we'll go. We'll flip this one on right here too. All right. We've got some background music playing, and of course that background music seems to have ads that goes along with it, but I guess that's just the way it is when it comes to stuff like that. Let me get you over here a little bit to where we can tilt you down just a bit. I am so glad to have you join me today. We are going to make Not So Scary Harry. All right? So, that's my little witchy here. And we're going to have a door prize that's going to be sent out today. And besides the door prize, there's going to be the freebie for all the lantern instructions. And the lantern is this right here. And I will send you the instructions on how to create that. All right? So, send a message, put a comment on here saying, I'd like instructions for the leaf lantern, or just me, and I'll send you the instructions on how to do that. All right, guys? We're also going to have some prizes for those who post a picture or work along with us, and anybody that comments, we're going to also have, we've got some dream catcher prizes that we're going to give away today, too. So be sure and comment. We're going to write down your name when you do comment. And I'm going to send you out one of these adorable little dream catchers. Oh, I'm going to have to turn that witch off. She's going to drive me crazy if I leave her on. And I think I'm going to take this cape off too, just to make it easier for us to craft today. Yeah, that helps. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do today is we are going to be making Not So Scary Harry. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, right here he is. This is Not So Scary Harry. And I'm going to show you today how to make this particular craft, okay? It's not too hard. It's pretty easy. It's always behind, always, at least 10 seconds. So, I have Igor here helping me out, and he's trying to check for comments and see who's online with us. And the playback from what I'm doing live right here is always about 10 seconds behind. So it's going to take just a few minutes for everything to show up properly for us to see who's actually the first to comment today. All right, so we're going to get our kit for that. For the kit to make Not So Scary Harry, you're going to have the wood shim, the 2 raffia bundles. It's going to have came with a bow and another fancy little bow. So you're going to need to get those out, and it's also going to have your template for the face, okay? So get those out right now so we can get started on that particular craft. And you're going to need your 8-inch piece of wood, okay? So we'll get that out also. And I'm going to tilt you guys down, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining me today. Here we go. Now, let me move this over here and see if I can, yeah, okay, now you can see exactly where we're at. And the first 2 things that we have to do is we're going to get our brown paint. Get your brown paint out and get the gold paint that came in the kit. If you didn't get the kit, then all you need is some brown, burnt umber, anything along that line, just some brown paint. Nutmeg, doesn't matter. And then you need a little bit of the gold paint. And it could be any of the golds. King's Gold, Sunset Gold. Any of them are fine. And you're going to want your template, okay? Now, how do we use the template? I've had a lot of people ask about that. Well, using the template is very, very simple. I got to get a drink here. You're going to need a pencil. Excuse me there, folks. Okay, first thing you want to do is you want to turn your template over, and you want to take your pencil, and you want to put the pencil side down against it, and you want to rub. And what you're doing is you are creating a graphite transfer. Now, I think you were probably wondering, what do you mean, how does that work? Well, it's easy enough. What we're going to do is we're going to flip it over, and then we're going to put it onto the board, and we're going to use our pencil and draw over top of it, and it's going to magically transfer it right onto our piece of wood. Okay? So, we're going to take the paper and put it at the end of the block. If you've got the kit, you want to put the paper at the end of the block, just like that. Okay? And then we're going to take our pencil, and we're going to draw right on top of what we just did on the back. Just like that. Put the little X's for the eyes. Put the circle right here. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry about it. It's not like you're looking for perfection. We're looking for fun. That's what we're doing here today. Gonna have a little bit of fun. All right, just keep going over where the nose part is. Put the little dashes. Those are the stitches, just holding his nose on. Now, if that music's too loud, we'll turn it down. But I'm hoping that it's okay for right now. It's not that bad. And it's Halloween music. We got that from YouTube, so we're not exactly sure who it is. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'm going to just draw a line about right here. You should have the little line on yours, and that's just to kind of show me where where the brim of the hat is going to go. So now if we move this, look at that. Isn't that magical? It's right there. It drew it right on the wood for us. And what we did was we made graphite paper, but we did it magically. We don't need carbon paper here at Fruit of the Vine. We use our pencil. And another quick little thing that you could do too is you can always use chalk. Chalk does the same thing. Now, generally, if you had painted this first, I would have advised that you did use chalk, because then that way you could easily wipe it off. But we are now going to take our Sharpie marker and we're going to go over these lines that we drew. Okay, so get your marker and just go right over top of it, just like this. Very easy. Now, we are going to be using paint in this area, but this is just so that when we go over all of this with the gold paint, we'll still be able to see what we have drawn as our transfer. Now, I'm just going right over, and if I don't get it right on the line, that's okay. It's okay, because we're going to paint it anyway. There we go. Easy enough. Just little dashes. And these are his little stitches holding his face on. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to put a little spot right here on each side so that I can tell exactly where we're going to put the brim of his hat. So now the next thing I want you to do is I want you to get out your gold paint. And get out your plate, get your palette out, get your paper towel out, and now you're going to need a little bit of water and a paintbrush. And you can do this with your sponge brush. It's perfectly fine. I'm going to use my big one. Let me get a little water here. Here we go. And I always like to have a couple of waters. One for when you're just trying to keep from muddying up the water, and when you have to add a little bit just to thin it down. And then a couple for in case it gets too dark. All right, so now we're going to take that gold, and shake it up. And if you've got the kit, then you've got it in the little cup. Just flip off the lid and dip into it. And get you some of that gold. And then starting right where that line is, where the brim hat is, I want you to take the gold and just start pulling it down. And you don't have to worry about it if it gets above the line. It's okay, because when we put the brown on top of where the gold is, it's going to completely cover the gold. Don't worry. But the idea is that we can still see the scarecrow's face on here. There, we still see Not So Scary Harry peeking through. There he is. I see him, don't you? There we go. Now, we also have a couple of things to attend to this morning, so that when this evening, as the time passes and we move on to the next craft, we will be ready for it. So once we get this part done, next thing we're going to do is we're going to paint that blockhead that's in our kit. This piece of wood right here. We're going to paint that piece of wood black. And that way it'll be dry and ready for us when it's time to go. Okay? Now you want to remember when you're painting Mr. Harry here, you want to make sure that you get the sides. You don't have to do the back, but you do want to get the sides. And you don't have to worry about the bottom either, because you're going to be sitting it on that. So that's okay. You don't have to put any on the bottom. But now, that's all you need as far as that gold paint goes. And since what we're going to be doing is using a darker paint on top of a lighter paint, we don't even need to wash our brush out for this particular thing. So the next thing I want you to do is to get your brown out. And we're going to shake that up. Now, for those of you working with me today, if you got that kit, the kit came with school glue in it and a rubber band. So for that particular part, I'm going to be using my hot glue gun today for the parts where you're using your school glue. That way it can just go quicker for me for showing and tell purposes, so to speak. Okay? But you can use your school glue and it will hold. It'll just take a little bit longer. You're going to need to put your craft off to the side while we work on other things. And by the end of the day, a not so scary Harry's raffia hair is going to be sticking on there and he's going to be ready for you. So now the next thing we're going to need is that shim, that piece of wood that came in there, the shim. We're going to take the brown, we're just going to dip right into it with the brush, and we're going to start painting it. Quick and easy. And you can even press it down on here if you want, because it doesn't matter. And you don't need thick coverage on it. It can just be a thin layer. I kind of like to see the wood grain through mine, so I put it on pretty thin. I like to see the wood in there, and that way you know he's the wooden scarecrow. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're going to get the sides of his brim. Now you want to make sure you get that painted on too, and if you get a little on your hands, don't worry about it. It's going to wash off. It's just a little paint, and that's not going to hurt you. Might take soap and water, and I know some people aren't too fond of that stuff, but it's not going to hurt you.
It makes my hands hurt.
Oh, now we must get used to washing our hands. We're getting used to wearing our masks. It is Halloween. Of course we're used to wearing our masks. Okay, now you want to get over here on this side too. There we go. Get all the sides of the brim. All the sides of the brim. I'm going to hold it right like that. Tilt it over and get this piece too. Can you see what I'm doing? Can you see? I'm getting it all. Now do you think, do I need to do the back? Do I need to do the back? Well, no, you really don't need to do the back. Okay? So, you just want to make sure you've got a nice layer of the brown on the front, and not so thick that you can't see the wood, but if that's what you want, that's perfectly fine. You can put on all the paint you want to, but that right there is good enough for me. I'm going to set my brim down, and now, going right across where that line was, right across through here. I can still see the line. I hope you can on yours, too. We're going to take this brown, and we're going to start putting, I might have to get me a little bit more. You should have plenty in your kit. There we go. Get a little bit more of that out. And we're going to put the brown right here on top of it. Ooh, getting it down there a little bit, aren't I? Gonna have to watch that. Now we're just getting us a layer of the brown on here. Now, I've got that a little further down than I intended to right in here. So I will be touching that up with a little bit of gold. Just give it, well, maybe not. Let me look. Well, I may not need to at all. Look at that. Isn't that nice? It worked out just perfect. Ha! Of course. This is my day. It's Halloween. Everything should be perfect on this day. I'm going to do the sides. I'm trying not to touch his face at this point with my hand, guys, because if I touch his face, then I'm going to get paint on him. And the brown paint I don't want in the middle of his face. I just want it on his hat. So, right here we go. I'm putting it on the sides. And I am going to put it on the top. Because when he's sitting on the shelf, people will be able to see the top of it. So, I might have to get me a little more brown. Just dip right in, guys. Get you some brown. Probably needs just a little drop of water in it. Just to thin it down a little bit. So it'll spread easy because the top of the wood is a little bit grainy. And if you add just a little bit of water, it'll just go right into all those teeny tiny nooks and crannies. Can you see them? I'm sure you can. All those little tiny nooks and crannies popping up there. Here we go. We're filling this in now. We're getting him all completely painted on the top. We've got our brim ready. We've got his hat painted. We've got his face started. And now we're going to move on to working on painting his face. So for this part, we are going to have to rinse out our brushes. So put your brush down in the water and get it going, get it rinsing. Grab me a paper towel. I'll be needing one. And the next thing we're going to do is get out that orange paint. And grab mine right there. Pumpkin orange. You should have the orange paint now. And the orange paint we're going to use on his nose. So we're going to need our white paint, our orange paint, and our black paint at this point. We're going to start with the orange and paint his nose. Now for that, well, we're not going to use that orange. That's brand new. He's not even open. Get this one out. You'll have your pumpkin orange. What are you doing, Igor?
I'm watching.
You're watching? Well, thank you for watching. We appreciate you watching.
I'm waiting for someone to comment.
Nobody is commenting. That's okay. That's okay. They will come around later. They're busy, I suppose. It is Halloween. Now, for his nose, we're going to use our little brush. And we're going to dip right into that orange. And we're going to start filling it in. Now, don't worry if you get it on top of the black, because we're going to go over that too. So just fill in the orange on his nose. That's scary music. Do you hear it? What does that make you think of, Igor?
And all the music being played by my former master before I died the first time.
Oh no, oh my, oh my. He played that kind of music, did he?
But he did it on a harpsichord.
Oh, a harpsichord. You know, I've seen a harpsichord before, and I've seen it played, and the guy who played it was named Lurch. Was that your boss, Lurch?
No, but he was in my union.
Lurch was in the union. Huh.
The creepy fellows.
The Creepy
240.
Fellows Union? That is so funny. I did not know Creepy Fellows had a union.
He cuts down the abuse.
Let's get our white and our black now, and we're going to shake them up. And we're going to start with the white. I see you over there. What are you looking at?
I'm keeping an eye out for what's going on.
Bring it over. Oh, there's his eye. Ah! Look at that. What in the world? What in the world? Put your eye back in your head, Igor. Igor! Your eye is getting everywhere. Put it up. Put it up. My goodness. I'm telling you. We are having a heck of a start this morning. Igor's eye just refuses to stay in his head.
We just have all kinds of technical difficulties.
Yes, we have had all kinds of technical difficulties this morning, but I'm thinking maybe we are starting to get straightened out. Starting to get straightened out anyway. So you're taking your white and you're just filling in the eye area now. Very easy. Now, when you get your leftover paint, if you got the whole kit for the day, don't just throw that paint away, because you're going to be needing it. We're going to be painting other things. We got that witch to paint later, so whatever orange is left over, don't just throw it off to the side. Put the top back on it, and we'll get to that around 3 o'clock today. But for now, this is all we're going to use. Just this little bit of white right here in his eyes. with our little round brush. Ah. I hope everybody's getting to go out trick-or-treating tonight and gets all kinds of good candies. And if there's anything you don't like and don't want, you can send it to me because I like all candy, all candy. Well, I don't know. Maybe not all candies. I'm not such a fan of the Smartie. But that's just me. If you like Smarties, you just enjoy them. Ooh, we have 7 people joining us right now. Oh, hey, you're going to want to comment today. Today, when you comment, you're going to be entered in our winning door prize. And what are we going to give away? We're going to give away your own dream catcher that you can make. It's got everything in it that you need to make a dream catcher to hang in your room. So be sure and comment on this while we're watching. Don't just sit there. Comment and you might be the winner. We're going to pull a name later on for someone to win this dream catcher. And as I showed you earlier, we also have that lantern that I've made that's called the leaf lantern. And if you would like instructions on how to make the leaf lantern, I want you to just comment me or I do or something along that line. And then I'll send you a PM and then we will get you the instructions to make the leaf lantern. Where did I put it? Here it is. Now, I know it doesn't look very impressive right now like that, but when you turn off the lights and you light that up on the inside with its little candle, oh my goodness, how cute that is. Okay, we are ready to use the black now. So, getting your black out. You're not going to need very much. And we're going to rinse our brush again. Do you see my bracelet? Look at that. If the lights were out, it would glow in the dark. Isn't that cool? It's a back bracelet. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Now we're going to take this and our little round brush and we're going to fill in the eyes. Just like that. All right, now we're going to move over to this one. Just fill it in. Okay. Now we've got his little eyeballs filled in. We'll put a little more black right there. Okay. Then we're going to take our little brush. And what you want to do is when you take it, you want to take your brush, put it in the paint, and roll it up to where you get a point. And then when you get the point, I'm going to turn him this way a little bit from me. We're going to go over the outline with our brush. Get a little more paint, roll it to the side. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, it's okay if you make it a little, if it gets a little blurry or if it's a little jittery looking. That's okay. That's okay. Ooh, I'm getting the white in it, though. It is ideal if you have time to let the other colors dry first. But we're just moving right along here because we've got so much to do today. Let me get that over here. Ooh. Try to fill this in right. It's just wanting to smear on that. So you know what? I'm going to let that dry for a minute. You know what? That's the best part to do right there. We're going to let that dry, and instead, we're going to outline his nose. Because the orange should be dry by now. Yeah, that looks much better. Remember, you take your brush, you put it in, and you roll it off to the side to where you get the point. And then that way you can make it a much better line. So here we go. We got that side. We're going to do this one. Okay, now we're going to have a door prize, but somebody needs to be our commenter. Who's going to comment today? Who's going to take a chance? I won't put a spell on you, I promise. Stop that. Here we go. We're just outlining his nose. While the eyes dry. There we go. Now we got his nose outlined. And we're going to start working on his mouth. Just going to take a little curve right here. Now, if you don't feel comfortable using your brush to do this, you don't have to. Actually, you could just let the paint dry, and then you could take your Sharpie marker and just go back over around the outside of it. You don't have to use the paintbrush if you feel uncomfortable doing that. But I always advise going ahead and using your paintbrush. Learn to use the brush. Sometimes you get a big close-up like I am right now. I got my hands very close to the end of the brush because I'm trying to get more control. And then at other times when you're painting, you will find that you are going to hold the brush further out at the end and not so close to the neck. And we're just making little dashes for his mouth. There we go. Okay, now a little not so scary Harry's got his mouth there. I'm gonna put a couple of dashes right here in his nose. There we go. Let me get a couple of more. I'm gonna turn him around. See, up here's dry now. I can touch that, so that's comfortable feeling. I can put my hand down. Make a line there and make a line right here. Turn him around. I can still see that's just a little bit wet looking too. And I'm going to put a line right there and a line right there. Alright. Now we've got most of his face ready. I'm going to start getting ready over here. I'm going to plug in my glue gun. I guess I'm not going to plug it in over there. Here, Igor, help me. Find a spot to plug in this glue gun. You may have to unplug one of these contraptions here.
Oh, it's creating fire hazard.
It is a fire hazard. Now, we will not make a fire. At least not with the plugs. Now I'm going back around his eye right there where that was. There we go. Okay. Dip that just a little bit in the water. And pull that black out and twirl your brush.
This device isn't working. You might as well shut it off.
Shut it off then.
How you do?
I shall show you in a moment. Alright, we're making the little X's in his eyes. There we go. We got his eyeballs stitched on. And then we gotta go around this eye. So just taking our brush, pulling it down, and around. There we got that side. Alright. Ooh, that's a thick eye. But that's alright. He's gonna look great when we get him done, I guarantee it. Put the little X in his eye right here. I need a little more paint, I believe, but I'm trying not to get more black out because all I had is just another little spot to do. All right, we're just gonna do this right here. Make another X in his eye. All right, I think that his face is ready. Okay, there he is. Not so scary, is he? Here, we're gonna make that just a little bit wider. There, maybe this one too, just a little bit wider. He's got wide eyes. There we go. Now, there's his face. And that's all we need to do as far as that goes. We're done painting it this time. So we're going to put our paints off to the side, and we're going to go back and clean our brushes because we're going to use them later. So we don't want to leave our brushes just sitting in water for any extended period of time. So wipe your brushes off real good. And if you really think you got it clean, try putting it on your arm and see if anything comes off. If nothing comes off, then you know you got your brush clean. Something comes off all over your arm, well, then the brush isn't clean and you need to do a little more. Now, sponge brush is a little different. You're going to want to take your hand and squeeze that water out. But it's okay, it's not going to hurt your hand, it's just water. It's looking mighty brown in there, but that's all right too. Okay, and then take your towelette and squeeze more of the water out of that sponge brush. Now bear in mind that water is going to be brown because we used brown paint. That makes sense, doesn't it? Hush, Igor! It's laughing at me. Now, I'm giving away this dream catcher. If you'd like to win this dream catcher, all you have to do is comment. And we're going to draw names and see who wins. So anytime during the course of the day, I want you to comment on one of our crafts to be entered to win our little dream catcher. We're also giving away other door prizes. We've got a freebie lantern instruction that I'm going to show you in a little bit too. Okay, so while we've got our paint out, I just thought about this. What we need to do is prepare for the next event at 1 o'clock, which really isn't that long now. We've only got 20 minutes. So we're going to have to paint this block black. So take your sponge block, or your sponge brush, get your black paint out, and let's get started painting that block.
Did you say Sponge Block or SpongeBob?
SpongeBob? No, I don't have SpongeBob here. We're getting ready for the 1 o'clock craft. And in order to be ready, we need to have our block painted. So, get your little wooden block and start painting right now. We're going to make it black while Not So Scary Harry is resting. And you want to paint the front and the top, the bottom, the sides. Well, not the bottom. You don't have to paint the bottom. But you want to paint the whole block black. You know what? We are going to get the black. There we go. Instead of using my little tube, I'm just getting out the big black, and we're just going to paint this block. So, if you don't do this right now, you can do it in a few minutes after you get finished doing whatever you needed to do to the face of Harry. But you do want to get this block painted so that when 1 o'clock comes, we can get started right away on making our pumpkin head Blockhead. Now, this will be very easy craft too. It won't take long at all. And then we're going to take a little break, and everybody will be able to go do something fun or catch up or get ready for the next one. But here we go. We're getting the block painted black, quick and easy. We really didn't even need to clean it with the brown, did we? Because the black's darker than the brown. We could have had our dirty brush and done it just that way. It wouldn't have made a difference, would it? But I wasn't thinking about that, even though I've got notes all around me telling me what to do today and how to get this done the most efficient way. Sometimes I'm just not reading my notes and I'm so busy having fun, I forget to plan ahead. Do you do that too? What about you, Igor?
I don't try to think too much. I get in trouble.
It only makes trouble. That is so funny. Okay, now that we've got our block painted black, we shall just sit it off to the side and let it dry. And once again, we're going to take our brush and put it back in the water and rinse it out. And then it's going to be time to put Scary Harry together. Is our glue gun getting hot? Yes, it is. Good, good, good. You're going to want to get your school glue out now. Goodness, that's a mess. Let's go over to this one. There we go. We're just getting most of it out. Then I'll go rinse that in just a little bit. But for now, we're going to be done with that. I'm throwing things at this point, guys. Be careful. Be looking out. Look out. Look out, Igor. Things may be flying through the air here.
I kept an eye out for all kinds of things.
You silly thing, you silly, silly thing. All right. Now, what we are going to do next is you're going to get your glue out, and you're going to get your 2 bundles of raffia. There's 2 of them. And you're going to take your glue, your raffia bundles should go all the way from the top to the bottom. See how they're cut? From the top to the bottom, so you don't have to measure it and worry about where does it go on. It goes on right there from the top to the bottom, okay? So we're going to take, if Mom and Dad's there, I want you to use the hot glue gun, or Mom and Dad can supervise you using the hot glue gun if they trust you with that, okay? If not, then you can use your school glue, but it's going to take you a little bit longer. So you're going to take your hot glue gun and you're going to put a nice glob of glue right on the side of it and measure it once again to make sure that it's from the top to the bottom and just press it in there, okay? So we've got it on that side. Yes, these glue guns, they just spit out the glue all the time. Press it in there real good. Now, if you're using your school glue, I want you to go ahead, instead of sitting there trying to press it in, I want you to go ahead and put another glob of glue on the other side. Glue too. Okay, and then you're going to go and press that side in too. But for those of you using your school glue, I want you to take the rubber band that came included in your kit. And I want you to have Mom and Dad help you take that rubber band and put it all the way across and around to hold that raffia onto the sides of his head until that school glue dries, okay? So, we're getting really close to being done at this point, guys. You don't realize how close we are. There's only a few things to do. The next thing you're going to do, once again, with your glue gun, is now we're going to put on the brim to the hat. It's easy to remember which side you're going to do because it's the side that you painted. So, taking the glue gun, or if you're using your school glue, that's fine. You can do that too. Your rubber band is going to probably be in behind there, but that's okay. Don't worry about it being behind it. It doesn't hurt anything. Just go ahead and glue it all together. It's just going to hold it on for you. So, for now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the glue gun and we're going to run it right across there, just like that. All right. And then we're going to take this, and you want it to have a little bit of a tilt to it. Doesn't matter. You can do it this way, you can do it that way. Just do it while the glue's. Then you want to try to get it to where the same amount sticking out over the sides here. Okay? Because that's his hat brim. So there, now we've got his hat on. All right? And depending on what color you asked, your 2 bows that came with your set. You've got the hat bow, and then you've got his little bow tie that he's going to wear. And then we are actually done with this. Isn't that great? How quick and easy was that? All we have to do at this point is put a glob of the glue. Oop, I'm going to have to get me out another stick. Here we go. There's a glue stick. Come back here. All right, we're going to put a glob of the glue right there on the back of his bow and put it right above the brim. Right above the brim on his hat. Just like that. How's that? That looks perfect to me. Where's that scissors? He's got a hairy thing sticking out there. And then we're going to do the same thing. Now, you can tell the front of the bow from the back of the bow. The back of the bow's got more glue, you'll probably see, and it's also got the edge right there. So you're going to take this, and you're going to put a glob. Nice size glob right there. And just press it down right underneath his smile. Just like that. And you know what, guys? Not so scary Harry is ready. There you go. Isn't he adorable? Now he's ready to put on the shelf, and you've got your own very not so scary Harry. Thank you so much for joining me for the first hour of our Halloween bash, and it looks like you've got 10 minutes to take a break. Go get you something to snack on. Maybe a piece of Halloween candy. Ha 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 ha. We'll see you guys at 1. Bye now. Bye, guys.